Good morning. Welcome to Lyte Talks. My name is Nakima Lyte, licensed clinical social worker. I want to share with you a segment from my Instagram live that I did some time back in regards to our mental health checkup. Now, for those of you that have requested this, it is here by popular demand, a compilation of the different questions that friends asked from that Instagram live. So make sure you stay tuned. I'm going to be rolling out different questions for the weeks to come. Yeah, so here we go. And don't forget, go forth and shine your light. I said go forth and shine your light. Bye. Go watch the video. What are some questions we can ask a therapist when we're first meeting with them? That's a really great question. Thanks for sending it in. When you're first meeting with a therapist, well, what is therapy, right? I have on this fly new merch today by Dr. Anita Philips. And one of her slogans that she has been saying for some time is, prayer is a weapon and therapy is a strategy. Now, it comes from the concept of understanding that in our mental health journey, we're often in a war. And in a war, we need weapons. In order for us to defend or be on offense, you need weapons. We know scripturally also we need weapons. It says, put on the whole armor of God. But oftentimes as Christians or as believers, we strapped up, we got all our weapons, and you go to war without a strategy. Now that can cause chaos, that can cause casualty, and it can definitely cause defeat, right? The God that I serve promised me victory. So how could I go into a war with weapons and no strategy? Well, what are some strategies? A strategy is therapy. A strategy is a small group. A strategy is being in a place where you're gathering in fellowship or even equipping yourself or educating yourself on how we can move relationally, financially, spiritually. So therapy is one strategy, and I am a strategist. So if you were to go to a therapist in your first meeting, you might consider exploring the expectations of the relationship. I mean, that's what I'm going to be asking the first time that I'm meeting with someone. What are you attempting to gain here? And as the client, if you're going in to meet with a therapist, these are my expectations in the experience. What are yours? What are some things that you feel like you have a level of expertise around, right? And different therapists, because of different personality difference, but also different approaches, are going to have a certain level of expertise in different things. Like, for instance, I'm very familiar with working with anxiety, with navigating relationships in healthy ways, depression and trauma. Like, those, I would say, are my levels of expertise. Can I work around other things? Absolutely. But I would say asking in your first session expectations in the relationship. What are some signs of being mentally healthy? That is really good. I got another question, or what are some warning signs when we're not mentally healthy? So I'm going to talk about both of these together, right? So if I am mentally healthy, it's going to manifest itself in fruit, in evidence, right? So some of the signs that I'm healthy, that I'm navigating my relationships well, that I'm able to function, whether that be at school, at work, in my household, and I'm able to regulate my emotions in a healthy way. Whether I do that internally, right? Internal coping skills could be deep breathing or prayer or journaling, internal means I'm doing it on my own. And external coping skills might be speaking to a friend, or watching a movie, or doing some shopping at the mall, right? I know that some of us have some entanglements with Amazon, but like making sure that we understand there's healthy coping skills and unhealthy coping skills. So not every coping skill actually serves us in the long run, but some ways that you can see if your emotional or mental health is stable or is in a healthy place is looking at the way that you interact with the world, right? The warning signs that I would consider if we're not at a place emotionally or mentally healthy is looking at the same areas. Is my day-to-day functioning impacted, right? Am I able to attend to my activities of daily living? In my field, we call these ADLs. So am I able to get up, take a shower, make breakfast? Or sometimes does it become so overwhelming that I can't get out of bed, or I don't attend to my hygiene? So if that's a huge warning sign. But at the end of the spectrum, I can be doing all of those things, have my face beat, lashes on, go to work every single day, but be severely depressed and suicidal. So that's not an only warning sign, it's also an internal check. What we've learned to do a lot of the times because of survival is put on pretense and knuckle through situations instead of really taking an opportunity to be still. Maybe we're afraid that we might fall apart, but if that needs to happen, it's better than continuing to walk in pretense and act as if everything is okay, because eventually we're going to crash. Eventually, because we're finite beings, there's only so much we can take. We're going to be in a place where it's going to impact and touch every area of our life. So I mean relationally, I mean our physical health starts to deteriorate, when we are not walking in the God-given emotional health and mental health that he wants for us. Our finances are impacted. What do I mean by that? We might be spending impulsively to attend to this void within us. We might be comfort eating out of anxiety or out of depression, right? So there's different areas that are touched. We can definitely look at our spiritual health too, because it begins to decline, or we begin to withdraw from God sometimes when we are in a place of distress in our emotions. So those are some warning signs of being healthy and some warning signs that we're not so healthy. And what we should do when we're not so healthy is reaching out. I think the worst scenario in that is isolating ourselves, withdrawing, saying I got this under control, or I don't want to seem weak, so I'm not going to talk about it, I'm not going to share it, I'm not going to say that I'm struggling. That's the biggest trick of the enemy. When you think about the enemy prowling around like a roaring lion, he's seeking whom he may devour, right? So if we have a pack of antelope, or some gazelle, he's looking for the one that's straggling in the back, limping off to the side, isolated from the pack, isolated from the group, because it's an easy kill, it's an easy prey. So do not isolate yourself. I know it's difficult when we're distressed, or really anxious, or even traumatized by certain things. We just want to be alone, but it can be really unsafe. Even if you're reaching out to friends and say, hey, I maybe don't want to talk about the actual situation, but let's hang out, like let's go for a walk, I need to be around other people. So I hope that answers that question.